Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. Right in my hands is some of what's coming out this week that we'll be covering right here at GPTV. As I said, this is the tip of the iceberg. There's tons and tons of releases. Some we haven't had in our hands yet that we'll be getting later this week to review right here. So let's go over what you can expect. All right, we got Trio from AfterShock. Up first is The Naughty List, #1. I believe this is one where, like, Santa's list is stolen and he's got to go get it in revenge or something like that. There's been a lot of these sort of bad Santa comics that have been out in, like the past year. And most of them have actually been really, really funny. I'm kind of excited to see a new riff on this or another riff on this and, get some laughs out of it. Now, I'll admit it's a little weird coming out this time of year. I'm going to guess it was probably delayed due to everything's going on, but, better late than never. So this should be fun to check out just because I think it sounds goofy. All right, we got Bylines in Blood, #4. I think this might be the finale of the series. So the series is about a detective that her former boss is murdered. She is out to go and figure out who did it. This is a little bit different detective story in that the character, 1, is female, and 2 is a former reporter. Oftentimes in detective stories, the classic noir detective stories, it's a male detective who's a former cop, and of course, might be a crooked cop. It's actually a really interesting series exploring, truth, corruption, what can we trust, who we can trust. And I think it's something to say that the disgraced journalist or fallen journalist is the one that's guiding us back to reality and the truth. I mean, there's something definitely to it. It's, a futuristic world that's definitely a riff on a lot of what we experience today. Really cool series. If you like detective stories, I think it's been really good. The Lion and the Eagle, #3. This is Garth Ennis, PJ Holden doing their latest war story. This one taking place in the jungles of China, China. British forces versus Japanese forces. It's been interesting so far. I think my big thing is I don't know enough about the history to probably appreciate it the way I would if I was more immersed in World War II and knew the battles, knew the fronts, knew the stories, knew the reality. I have a feeling there's a lot more to appreciate if you know that history. I know that Ennis and Holden go out of the way and do an amazing job of research and getting things right and all that. So I keep on saying it in every single review. I love it for someone to talk maybe in the comments to say, hey, this is pretty accurate, this isn't accurate, whatever. I think that's a really interesting thing and love to hear it. As far as the story, it's not bad, it's just not my cup of tea. For me, Ennis and Holden's war stories, they're good. I recognize that they're good. They're just, it's one of those, I grew up watching, the old school Midways and all that with, my father on Sunday afternoons, and to me, they kind of put me to sleep, and this one kind of feels like that classic Midway, and that's kind of a compliment, because those are all, really good films. So, I'm not knocking it. It's just, it's not for me. But if you are into war stories, I think it's probably really, really good, and you dig it. So this one is going to be really interesting. I've been psyched and can't wait to read it. It's going to be in bookstores, I think, a couple weeks after it's released in comic shops. This is 6,000 Miles to Freedom, 2 boys and their flight from the Taliban. I think the title really says it all. It's about 2 boys who are stuck in war-torn Afghanistan and then have to trek to freedom. It's published by Graphic Mundi, which is, when they launched, they were more focused on graphic medicine. But they've really kind of branched out to this really interesting graphic journalism as well, chronicling a lot of what's going on in the world, especially refugees. So I'm really fascinated to read this. This is going to be a amazing one to read. It's actually based on numerous testimonies from refugee youth. So it attempts to document their traumatic experiences in real life. So it's weird to say I'm pumped to read this, but I think this might be very eye-opening, and I'm excited to read it. We'll go with that. So it is going to be a very interesting week. We also have The Killer, Affairs of the State #3 will be out this Wednesday, so we'll hopefully have a physical copy to review that, but we'll probably do a written review on Wednesday. I don't know what else is coming out. There's just so much. Come back. We'll have tons and tons of stuff every single day right here at Graphic Policy. As always, you want the latest comic news, reviews, interviews, all that stuff, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice, consistent. And, of course, come back right here at GPTV for the latest reviews. As always, much appreciated. Until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.